Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be working on this really easy ghost costume. It'll be linked in the video description. It's already up on my Etsy store. So yeah, let's get started. Like always, I give you guys the printing settings, a picture guide how to tape and assemble the pattern, the kit's size chart in inches, and of course here's the video tutorial to the pattern, how to assemble, tape, and sew it up. Another thing I recommend is that you print out the first page of the pattern because we want to do the test square. We want to double check that the printing settings are correct, and so square measures 2 inches by 2 inches, and then we're good to go. You can print out the rest of the file. Another thing is that each page has a dotted line all around, and then it has a number and letter. That way you know how to place them in order. So again, if we go back to the instructions, I tell you to tape and match on the dotted line from A1 all the way to A5. We're going to go down to B1 all the way to B4. So let me quickly do that and I'll be right back. If you look at the corner of the pattern, there's a size key. Basically, each size represents a color. So for this video, I'm going to be working on a size 2. So I'm going to be cutting into every orange line. Okay, so let's get started. This costume doesn't have that many pattern pieces. It just has the main front and back. We're going to be cutting 4 out of fabric on the fold, and then you're going to cut 2 out of either batting or foam, again on the fold. And for mine, I'm going to be making this cute little pink ghost, and I'm also going to be using batting, but again, you can use foam or whatever gives structure to the garment that you want to use. Okay, and another thing is I also give you guys the elastic placement, so grab your tracing wheel or whatever you want to use and transfer the lines onto the costume so you know where to place the elastic. We're going to start with the front of the costume, so just grab one piece of the body and also go ahead and cut the face applique. I give you guys 2 different ghost designs, and yes, I also give you guys the cut file in case you guys want to use vinyl and iron it on. I'll also be attached, but for this video I'm going to be cutting the face out of felt, and then I'm going to quickly sew that onto the front. Okay, so once you're done sewing the face applique, we're ready to go on to the next step, which is adding the elastic onto the costume. I'm going to be using a 1-inch width band, and I have these 2 elastic guides. One is for the shoulder and the other one is for the waist. Go ahead and cut 2 of each, and as I mentioned earlier, please remember to transfer the elastic placement guide onto the fabric. That way, once we add the elastic, you know where to place it in the costume. So yeah, I'm going to quickly pin that and sew that because later on we're going to add lining, and you don't want the elastic to move. Okay, so once we've sewn the elastic, now we're ready to get another piece of the body. We're going to place it right sides together. This is going to be the inside of the front, and we're going to leave an opening on the side between 3 to 4 inches. So go ahead, mark that, pin, and we're going to be sewing around the ghost 1/2 inch seam allowance. Before we go ahead and flip it to the correct side, we're going to trim and clip all of the curves and corners. And ta-da! Here's the front of our ghost costume. The last thing we're going to do on the front is close the opening. Okay, now we're ready to start on the back of the costume. So we're going to pin the front to the back, right sides together. Obviously, we're matching the elastic with the elastic placement guide that we transferred onto the fabric. So yeah, we're going to pin that and we're going to sew that in place. Once we're done sewing the elastic to the back, we're going to pin down the front piece. That way, once we add the lining and batting onto the back piece, it doesn't move around or we don't catch it when we're sewing the whole piece together. So yeah, we're going to, again, how we did it with the front piece, we're going to connect everything and leave an opening on the side. Again, we're going to sew 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. As I said earlier, just be careful when you're sewing the back and the lining together, that you don't catch the front piece. Be pinned down, which it should be good, it shouldn't move or anything, but just something to be aware of when you're sewing the piece together. And so, yeah, once you're done sewing it, we're going to again clip and trim the curves and the corners before we flip it to the correct side. And before we flip it to the correct side, remove the pin that was holding the front piece. Okay, so we don't, poke ourselves with the pin. And so yeah, after that, we're ready to flip it to the correct side. And the last thing we're going to do is close the opening on the side, and we're pretty much done. Yay! Here it is, our little pink, cute little ghost costume. Like I said earlier in the video, it's a pretty easy project. I think this will look cool if you have your child wear all black. That way, the ghost, it gives the illusion that it's like floating. So yeah, and again, you can get creative. You could use different fabric colors. You don't have to use the ghost face that I attached. You could create your own if you want to. So yeah, I will link the pattern down below. Like I said, it's already up on my Etsy store. And if you guys have any questions though, feel free to message me or leave a comment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys!